Hello, welcome back to another video. Previously, I put out a release notes video on Trimble Earthworks version 2.7. We're going to give it a shot here with Trimble Siteworks version 1.3. Just went live sometime between last Friday and the day I'm currently recording. I believe it's February 21st. Yep. So just went live recently. I've known of a couple of the features coming out in this version for a little while now. Some things I'm excited about, and I think we're gonna do just like in the Earthworks video. Pull up the release notes, kind of scroll through, see what's new. Pull up the emulator, and yeah, we will go from there. So let's get into it. So first things first, pull up the notes. Let's zoom in a little bit. So first things first, yada yada. You do have to have an active software protection plan dated January 31st, 2022 to download this software. So if your license expired in 2021, I believe you can go into Siteworks into your system or under settings and your system info, and you can see your software date there. So anything, uh, you know, 2021, you'll have to purchase the software renewal. I recommend doing that as often as you can. Trimble seems to be putting out some pretty cool stuff recently for Siteworks, so scrolling through here, yada yada. Supported devices 1.43 is available on TSC7, T7, T100, the new T100, which I really like. Site Tab 10, T10, and the Panasonic ToughPad. And now we've got a couple Android tablets running Siteworks. Trimble official TDC 600 and TSC 5. Some pretty cool updates in this release for both of those devices. Uh, Not supported on TSC 3s, any Windows 7 devices. One thing, real quick, how do you update your software? So you can do Trimble Installation Manager. Today I'm running on my Windows 10 computer. I have Trimble Installation Manager installed on it. It's really easy to do. We can run a little demo right here on how to update your Siteworks software. Back here on my dashboard, Trimble Installation Manager right here. If I double click on it, it's going to ask me for permission. So hopefully you've got administrative permissions on here. You can use this to update firmware in your SPS 986, 785 if you've got one. But this is the easy way to get the Siteworks or SCS 900 upgrade. So let it connect right quick. Trimble Access is the default on your data collectors. It should have Siteworks, but I'm just going to click Show All right here. And it'll pop up all of the supported softwares in Trimble Installation Manager. So yeah, here, Siteworks, and you can choose your version at the top right up here. So you can unlicensed devices, you can download them, you just can't use them. They run in emulation mode. So yeah, 1.43. If you want the release notes, here it is. And yeah, so that's how you can upgrade your device. But anyways, let's dive into these release notes. So scrolling down, languages. So here we go. New features and functions. So yeah, you've got two versions: Standard Edition, Starter Edition. We're gonna hit mainly on the Standard Edition. So going through here, horizontal light bar. We'll go ahead and fire up Siteworks. The horizontal light bar, it is a view option, panel option. So it's there with your 3D surface viewer, your panel display, or info panel, sorry. Telling me my demo license, so my training project that we've had the whole time. Gonna load this up. I am running the VCL. I'll make a whole video dedicated to VCLs in the future. Gonna set my rover up real quick. Yes, using the quick release. Sure, let's turn tilt compensation on. Let me swap around here. So yeah, so let me click right here. So version 1.43, you can see green means we are aligned for tilt. So I'm going to center on top of myself. So let's look at these notes. New horizontal light bar that will display a red arrow pointing to the center line and show the horizontal distance to a line selected for staking when in stake mode, or the distance to a reference line or alignment when in measure mode. So let's try this out real quick. So I don't have any alignments in this file. I do know that this red, or yeah, right under here. So let's stake something out. So I want this road 1 center line. We're going to stake it. Let's see, where are we at? So right here, let's swap our cross-section view over to horizontal light bar. And there we are. So this is it. It tells us our offset right here above at the top. It matches the inward value. Direction arrows based on positive negative value of the offset, with a positive offset pointing the user towards the left. I believe it's based on how the line is built. Yep. So negative to the right. So negative and anything in this direction is negative. So cool. Reference line is used when in measure mode or in stakeout mode. That does not involve any kind of alignment or stakeout. Yep. So it just tells us how to do it. Shows us right here. So let's check it out. Center will turn green. So if you're doing some stakeout and you know, there we go. So I'm sure somewhere here there are some settings for how you can get this light bar to set. So yeah, tolerance value is set in menu settings, stakeout, horizontal tolerance, yada yada. So kind of cool. Another new feature popping up. Moving on, export measured data to USB on Android devices. So when the Android devices came out, they were missing a couple little things. This being one of them. So if I go around and I do a topo, let's hop back into measure mode real quick. So say I want to run my topo here, shoot some points, topo 1. Let's go ahead for the sake of this. Let's turn on our point names. So yeah, topo 1, topo 2, my little topo. Say I were to export it, I can go menu button, data management, and I can export measured data. In the entire history of SCS and Siteworks on the Windows 10 data collectors, you've been able to output it to either the device, so the C drive. I never knew this. Huh. Learned something new. USB device. And yeah, so but the Android devices, TDC 600, TSC5, and any of the support, Android phones, tablets that you can run Siteworks on, you were only able to do it to the internal storage, and then you had to copy it onto your USB outside of the program. Now you can choose the USB to export directly. And I'm assuming you have to select the root of the USB drive the first time. Selecting USB drive will allow for saving of the exported file to the USB's root directory. So yeah, pretty much right there, you see USB drive. When using a USB for the first time, a pop-up provides instructions. Then tap the allow access, use this folder. The one thing, this is different than the TD520 and Earthworks. You have to do this every time. As I've seen on my TSC5, you only have to do this once with a specific USB. So if you get a new USB, you've got to run this process again. Importing data from USB on Android devices. Same deal. Let me explain this one to you. So say I go in here, project setup, change project, and I've got a new design file. We'll call it new design. And design file, so I'm going to grab just the same VCL again. So on the Windows 10 devices like we have here, I've always had the option to go to my D drive. Not so much on the Android devices. I only had access to the operating system hard drive. So I'd have to copy something from my USB to my TSC5 hard drive. Well, not anymore. I can get internal or external. Same procedures with exporting. You've got to tell it, your USB drive and go from there. So, on the Androids, I can now choose to, and I deleted the file, so it's not there. But yeah, you can now import from your USB drive directly. Big deal for trying to speed through some things. Let me load our job back up. Next one, pretty cool. Vertical exaggeration. So if you're familiar with any CAD programs, we obviously have Trimble Business Center. You can vertically exaggerate the surface in those programs. Makes it easier to view any kind of conflicts, make sure everything's smooth in your surface. Not an expert model builder by any means, but I know if we've got a problem, you can go into Business Center, exaggerate the surface, and get a better look. So let's see, now possible to vertically exaggerate. New 3D view tab has been added to the map options where it's possible to set the value. Yada yada. So let's just check this out. So I'm going to swap to my 3D view. We're going to rotate it and we're going to zoom in. So you can see at the bottom, they've got the exaggerated value. Do they have a specific name for this? Show vertical exaggeration. Text is displayed. This will be shown in the, yep, so we've got it already. Less than one visualization only, no impact. So let's check it out. So we're at our default of 1. Vertical exaggeration right here. Let's set it to 10. See what happens. There's our vertical exaggeration text. I'm going to leave that on. It's not harming me. So yeah, look, we can see, wow, look at this job. So you can see really how the job is rising and falling. You can see there's a lot of fall from back to front of this job. I've actually been on this job. There's a connecting road that runs kind of in the west direction. It says we can exaggerate this to 50. Let's give it a shot and see what happens. Yeah. So way exaggerated. But yeah, we can see, our roads. Actually, looks really good. So cool. So that's the vertical exaggeration feature. We're going to set this back to 1. Moving on. Let's see what we've got next. Cross-section vertical exaggeration. So this is pretty cool. They added recently, in one of the recent updates, cross-section view used to only be available in PRO files. And when VCLs came out, the VCL corridor files, you had to have a defined corridor to get cross-section view. But now let's change our horizontal light bar to cross-section. And if you look, I'll zoom in. We can get a cross-section view with just a regular surface model. There's no alignment in here. So, yeah, we can see, it looks like this road. We can see the cross-section, so I'm assuming that's our EP up to our back of curb. Let's see, center line of our road. We're just way zoomed out. So there we go. So you can see our crown. You can see our EP line. So if I hop over here, I'm not sure what color the EP is here. Right here, yep. This light green line. My elevation's a little weird here in the emulator. It's always 6 feet below for some reason. Not sure why. But yeah, so we can see our cross section, and it looks like we can vertically exaggerate the cross section also. Let's see where we've got this at. Cross section slopes. This is cool. Just recently saw this. So it shows me my percentages of my slopes in my cross section. Really nice. So it looks like, possibly, and it has to do with travel direction. But looks like a 2%, a little more of a slope on one side than the other. Let's go ahead and crank this up. Check out our vertical exaggeration. Let's set it to 3. So yeah, so we can see, we can really vertically exaggerate this and see kind of, where we are at. Set this back to one, just another cool new feature. Continuing on, Siteworks Starter Edition, DXF exports. Don't think I've done a starter edition yet. DXF of measured line work from Siteworks Starter Edition. The process is the same as Siteworks Standard. So yeah, you can export out a DXF. So let's check this out. Data management, export measured data, DXF file. So this is, I guess they decided to add this to the starter edition. Sure, sounds cool. Scale distances, UTS control panel. So when you're running your total station, you can see the scale values. Vertical distance scale factor used in all calculations by the internal coordinate calculation engine differs from the scale factor used for horizontal slope distances. It's just saying that it displays differently. File delimiter restrictions, yada yada. This is some of the more boring stuff. Just different separator values. Option to open a PDF report or folder when creating a PDF report. So I don't know if many people have seen. Let me throw together a quick. Do I have my stockpile? Nope, I don't. Let me run a quick little stockpile calculation real fast. So watch this. Let me go in here. We've already shot our 3 points. Let me go into Kogo, review and edit data, and I'm going to create a volume boundary around these 3 points. Close it up. Hit accept, and now I've got my volume boundary. Gonna run a stockpile calculation. Hit accept. So obviously my volume boundary is the same all the way across. So I don't have any topo in the middle of my boundary. So no cut, no fill, just a perfect flat stockpile. But what I can do now is when I create my PDF report, just call it test demo for release notes review. Once again, you can take pictures of your stockpile if you want, but this right here is what is new. I can open the file location after the creation. File location after creation of the file. So if I hit save, now my file explorer is going to show up. Inside of my output folder, I can open my PDF or copy it to a USB, attach it to an email. Pretty cool stuff. Little quality of life upgrade, I would call it, for any kind of, uh, functions. You can run this PDF report for anything. So just a little quality of life upgrade. Nice to have. Oh, and I got rid of our notes. Let me get back to that. So continuing on, licenses, demo licenses available. 3D surface color palette has been reversed. So kind of annoyed some people, annoyed me. Blues used to be highs and reds used to be low. So you can see in our view here, we've got red up here at the top. It's kind of hard to see. But let me see if we can see this. Yep, you can see a little bit of red up here at the top. So this used to be blue. And what you can do is you can use the legacy color palette and it'll swap it back to the original way. So there it was. This is how it used to view. So blues were lows and reds were highs. So they've given us the ability to swap that. Reds being highs, blues being lows. More in line with cut fill maps. Little quality of life upgrade right here. When you go to disconnect it and reconnect to something else. So if you're connected to one rover, and it's just when it asks you if you want to stop your current connection, you say yes. It's going to ask you if you want to do GPS or total station now instead of going straight directly into GPS again. Text items have been improved. VCLs are the way to go for all files pretty much now. That's how I'm running it. Like I said, I'll make a video on VCLs. Uh, any points that are included in your CAD files or VCL files now show up in the Point Manager tab. Pretty nice. Geodata folder is going to get created when you install Siteworks. So before, if somebody was wanting to run with a coordinate system or any geoid file to reference for elevation, you always had to create the geodata folder, and it had to be spelled correctly. So now it's getting created on its own. General improvements, nothing major that I can see here. Nothing major. Couple corridor feature fixes. Yep, nothing major here that stood out to me. Couple Bluetooth fixes. And then known issues, they just haven't run it on Android operating system 12 yet. But I would recommend TDC 600, TSC 5. They run really well now. Bunch of improvement over the last few updates. But yeah, that's pretty much, nothing too crazy in this update. Vertical exaggeration is pretty cool. Just a couple quality of life changes, updates. I'm running it. It's going to go out on all of our data collectors now. Renew your software warranty if you want to get this stuff. And yeah, let me know if you like the video. Any questions? Let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching.